Narcissistic people have a way about them, and they act in a manner that can be very confusing, very hurtful, very frustrating, very draining, very exhausting towards you. Now, you can try so many different avenues to communicate with them, to compromise with them, to find a resolution, to find a solution, and it tends to be, no matter how many different solutions you find, a narcissist will find a problem within that solution. It's a battleground, it's psychological warfare that you know absolutely nothing about. And you can get to a point where you just get too drained and you give up, where you might pick up narcissistic fleas and just start acting like them, or where you just kind of think, if I can't beat you, I'll just join you. Yet when it comes to narcissistic people, they tend to treat you in a manner that they know would hurt themselves. That's how they know it's going to get to you. It's going to wind you up. It's going to confuse you. It's going to hurt you. They don't like it being done to themselves, but they'll happily do it to other people because they lack the empathy for other people. They'll happily exploit other people. So when you find yourself treating a narcissist how they treat you, they become frustrated, they become angry, they become confused, they become irritated, and they seek to get you back. They seek to get one over on you. Narcissistic people use the silent treatment to punish you, to hurt you, to get you to conform to their demands. Now, when someone's hurt your feelings, it is more than natural to kind of fall silent and gather your thoughts and then communicate with the person, explain how you're feeling to the person. With a narcissist, you can just say no to them, they get offended and fall silent on you, yet they don't want to explain to you how they feel because some might be ashamed of how they feel, which is why they pass the blame over to you. However, you explaining to a narcissist how you feel doesn't compute within their mind. They just use it against you to hurt you all the more. So it's perfectly natural when someone hurts your feelings to have a moment of silence. Genuine people can then go and communicate. What you find with a narcissist is if you try and communicate with them, if you try and tell them what you're doing, they find a way to nitpick at it, to cause an argument. If you tell them how you're feeling, they tell you you're overreacting, you're exaggerating, you're making it all about you. So it gets you to the point where you stop going to communicate with them and you might fall silent on them, and then they get offended because they are seeking that attention and that validation, and you've just taken it away from them. They don't recognize it as their behavior that leads to that circumstances. They believe everything's your fault and your behavior and you're in the wrong. Narcissistic people use gaslighting to silence you, to shut you up. With some narcissistic people, they know very well what they're doing. With other narcissistic people, it's just a belief system they've sold to themselves, and they're very convincing either way in the lies that they tell. So they will promise you something, fail to deliver, and then when you just go and ask them about it, they then accuse you of imagining things, of making things up, and you might feel hurt, you might feel silent, or you might fall silent. You might stand your ground and say, no, you said this, to which a narcissist might then these days accuse you of trying to gaslight them. They get offended. They don't like people being assertive unless they can twist the assertiveness in their favour to get one over on you. They want people to be submissive and agreeable, but not too submissive and not too agreeable, because then it becomes boring and then they discard you and then they move on to somebody new and then they come back and toy with you. There is no winning with narcissistic people. They are some of the most secretive people you could ever meet. They will cause that intrigue within you. Now, they are secretive because they are up to no good. They don't want you to find out, because if you find out what they're doing, it might lead you to make a decision that doesn't work in their favour. So they go in to keep secrets. With others, they just enjoy knowing something that you don't know. And with some, they just enjoy winding you up and not informing you of things that you actually need to know. We can all be secretive over certain kinds of things, personal issues, that isn't going to negatively impact the other person in any way. A narcissist will be secretive over things that would negatively impact you, so that you cannot make an informed choice. Yet you'll often notice when you go and try to communicate with a narcissistic person, when you try to express how you're feeling to them, they mock your feelings. They accuse you of overreacting. They accuse you of exaggerating. They accuse you of being too sensitive. They accuse you of having trust issues. So it gets you to the point where you no longer go and tell them how you're feeling. If you tell them what you're planning on doing, they criticize it, they mock it. If you say you're seeing your friends, they start attacking that friend or that family member, to the point where you stop informing them for fear of their reaction, and then they get offended and they turn around and say, oh, I'm always the last to know, aren't I? Can't trust you with anything, can I? So they get you to a point where you become secretive due to the reactions you've had in the past, and then they attack you, even though the things that you have become secretive about don't negatively impact a genuine person. It negatively impacts a narcissist because they're looking to isolate you, they're looking to gaslight you, they're looking to devalue you, make you feel insignificant so they can feel better about themselves. They are some of the most critical people you could ever meet, and they will be highly critical of you. They will put you down, they will mock you, they will walk off humming and singing, they will tut away to themselves just to get under your skin and irritate you. They will put you down at any given opportunity. However, you just give them constructive feedback and they get offended. They don't like it because they perceive themselves to be perfect. They don't make mistakes. It's always somebody else's fault. It's always somebody else's mistake. And they get offended by this, and they will start to fall silent on you. They will start to gaslight you. They will do all they can to avoid any form of feedback because they don't believe that they need any help from other people. They believe they already know everything. They are arrogant enough to believe that they are always right. They will go all out to smear your name, to spread rumours about you, and often they rewrite it in their own head to suit their own narrative, to gain the sympathetic attention or the admiration from those around them. You literally just speak the truth about the things they do and what they're up to, and because they fear exposure, they believe that you've betrayed them, that you're the one who's turned against them, that they can't trust you. Once you find out about a narcissist, they will never trust you again, and they are very hypocritical. They have those double standards. They believe that they can treat people in a manner that other people should never treat them. They will be highly toxic and abusive towards you. They will shout at you, they will scream at you, they will fall silent on you with that passive aggressiveness. They will throw things, they will damage things, they will break things. And they will also push you past your limit, because we all have our limits. They know exactly what to use to provoke you, to chip away at you, to wind you up, to get you going. And they will get you going. And once they've got you going and you negatively react to them, they will either get so offended that you're the one that's abusing them, you're the one that's hurting them, you're the one that's attacking them. They will call you some of the most hurtful names, and as soon as you snap and call them something back, they turn on the crocodile tears and they're oh so offended. When you start shouting at them, when you start throwing things at them, when you start insulting them, they're either going to play the victim of how they're so hard done to, or they're going to stand back and actually be pleased that they've got you going, that they wound you up. What's wrong with you? Are you having a bad day? I think you might need to go and get some help. You seem to be a bit unhinged. Perhaps you're going a little bit crazy, which just annoys you all the more. So when you react to a narcissist, it plays straight into their hands. They enjoy this, which is why the best way to deal with a narcissist and rid yourself of a narcissist is by giving them no reaction, no attention. Narcissistic people tend to feel that they are entitled to do what they want when they want with whoever they want, with a lack of empathy. So they have no regard to another person's thoughts, feelings, opinions, time, what the other person is doing. It is all about themselves. Yet, if you become assertive, they get offended. If you tell them you've got to do something, they get offended. They accuse you, they project out onto you and accuse you of being selfish and awkward and not caring about them because you're not putting them first. Meanwhile, they will continue to put themselves before all others. Narcissistic people are some of the most arrogant people you could ever meet. They believe that they are always right, that they already know everything, they don't make mistakes, it's always somebody else's fault. And with that arrogance often comes their charismatic charm. They have a way with words to get away with things, and some of them actually believe the lies that they're selling themselves, which is why they're so convincing in the lies that they tell to those around them. However, if you just start rebuilding your confidence, a narcissistic person gets offended by this because they're looking to control you. So by you having your confidence, they don't like this. They can be attracted to this in the beginning, and then they seek to take your confidence away from you so that they can have the dominance of the relationship, so that they can feel superior in the relationship. And then you're no longer good enough for them because you've lost that confidence. There's no winning with a narcissistic person. Narcissistic people are incredibly envious of others, believing that others are envious of them. So if they see a confident person, they usually accuse that person of being arrogant and up themselves and having everything handed to them on a silver platter. Yeah, a narcissist has worked hard for absolutely everything they've ever done, even though they're the ones that have usually exploited people to get their needs met by people. So when it comes to a narcissistic person, they will often nitpick their own behaviour in others. They will provoke people into behaving like themselves, and then they will talk badly of those people. They will be offended if you dare to fall silent on them. They'll be offended if you dare to speak your truth or if you're assertive. They'll be envious if you are confident. The only time a narcissist isn't happy is when you take your attention away from them, when they're no longer getting their needs met by you. However, be it them not getting their needs met by you or envious of you, many a narcissist might go all out to seek to sabotage you, which is why it's always best to safely just distance yourself from them. If you find yourself behaving in a manner you don't like around certain people, they are not the kinds of people you should be around. If anyone has any thoughts on this video, please add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support of the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have a couple of books out on Amazon, 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People if you're unable to go no contact, and a Narcissists Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, if you'd like to go and check those out. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.